Today we are again looking at Qt Designer, Qt4 Designer, and Python, and we're going to be looking at sliders and dials today. So here's our default window. I'm going to create a widget again. It opens up, creates a form for me, and I'm going to add a label, and I'm going to add a slider. So let me search for slider here. We've got a horizontal slider and a vertical slider, and I'm going to add also a dial. So there we are. Now, just like last time, we're going to hit F4 to go into signal and slot editing mode. And I'm going to drag a line from this slider to our label. And I'm going to choose when the value is changed, set the number of the label there. We'll click OK, and we'll hit Control-R to do a preview window of it. As you can see, I can do the slider here, and it changes the value of that label there. These knobs and sliders over here are not connected to anything yet, but we're going to get to that. I'm going to go back into edit mode here with F3, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to double click the text there, the label, and set it to 0 as default. And then I'm going to choose our slider here, and I want to show you that you can change the maximum and the minimum values of the slider. The defaults are 0 and 9. Sorry, got a phone call there. 0 and 99. So I can set that to from 50 to 150 if I want. So now you'll see if I go preview window here and I do that, you can see we go up to 150. If I go all the way down, it stops at 50. So that's your maximum and minimum there. I'm going to set that back to 0. I'm going to set this to 99. And you can also do the steps in between. Like if you just want to do even numbers, you would set it to 2. And let's have a look at this again. Make sure we got it working from 0 to 99. Perfect. Now, if we want this knob to affect the text and this slider to affect the text, we can connect to the label, but we're going to actually make it a little bit simpler than that. Well, let's actually do that first, just to see how it works. We'll grab a line from this dial to this label. We'll say when value is changed, we'll set the number there. If we hit Control-R, you can see I can do this slider, or I can do this knob, but they don't coincide with one another. If I put this up to 98 and I put this to 50 or 43, you can see this is still at 98 over here. So they aren't controlling each other. So let's go back into edit mode, and we can drag a line from the dial to the slider here and say when its value is changed, set the value of the slider as well. Control-R to get a preview window again. And now as I turn the dial, you can see it adjusts the slider as well. But it doesn't work the other way yet. You can see I'm moving this and the dial is not moving. Let's connect a line from our slider to our dial, and we'll say when its value is changed, set value here. When I first did this, I was worried I was going to create an endless loop, but it doesn't. We'll hit Control-R, and you can see I move the slider, the knob moves, and when I move the knob, the slider moves, and our value changes here. But we don't need both of these to be connected to the label there. And the reason that, because if one of them is changed, it's going to affect the other one, which is going to affect the label. So let's choose one of these. We'll just hit delete. I deleted the wrong thing. That's fine. Let's delete that. Okay, we've got all our signals deleted here. I'm going to draw a line once again from this slider to the label there. When its value is changed, change that. From this slider to this dial, when the value is changed, change it there. Going to go the other way as well. When, oops, I wasn't on the widget there, I was on the form. When its value is changed, change it there. And we'll do the same for this one. We'll connect this one to the dial and the dial to it. And if we preview it, we should get all three of them moving and the value changed. If I move the knob, same thing, all three move and the value changed. And this slider, all three move and the value is the same. One more thing we can look at here is I showed you how to do maximum and minimum. Let's go back into edit mode with F3. We'll slide down here. We'll choose one of our widgets first. I'll choose this slider here. Scroll down. and we'll set its maximum to 150, which is 51 digits higher than these two. Is that going to cause a problem? No, it's not going to cause a problem. You can see when these are moved, it affects these two, but it stops at 99 here. Same with the dial. And if I take this and I move it up to 150, these ones still stay at 99. And so does our text here, because our text is linked to the label, or the slider here, and the maximum value of this slider is 99. So you can see, even though this slider is at 150, this one can only go to 99. Now, if you wanted it to work the other way, you would want to set this object to edit the label, not this one, as you can see. So I'm not really sure why you would want to have different maximum values, but if you did, you can do it. And the only reason it would cause problems is depending on what order you hook things up to. Let's quickly create a Python script out of this. We're going to click Save here. I'm going to save it as Dials UI. Replace the one I already have there. I'm going to open up my terminal and make it bigger. And I'm going to go to our folder that I have that saved in. If I list, you'll see I already have a Python file in here. That's because I tested this out before I did the tutorial. We'll remove that, pretend it didn't exist. If I list out files, here you can see our last tutorial. We have our UI and our Python script, and we have our current user interface created by Qt Designer for this project. We're going to use PY-UIC4-X and our UI file -O to create an output file. We'll call it dials.py, and now we have a Python file here created. Oops. Oh, it'd be good if I spelt things right. You can see the Python code here, and we can now run this by typing py or Python dials py, and you can see we have our Python script running here. And let's quickly look at the code. I'm going to go into Vim editor, dials.py, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a top line here of !/user/bin, user with no E, and /Python. This tells the executor that this is a Python script. Now we can make that an executable file by using changemod +X for executable, and we're going to say dials.py, and now you don't have to type out Python. You can just do /dialspy, and it'll run the script here. And if you can throw that in your user bin folder and just call dials.py from anywhere, it will run. It's, once again, the generated code doesn't put that first line into the Python script. I think it's a good thing to have, just so it will work either way, whether you type it out, Python and the file, or do / in the file. Another thing I want to note that I didn't in the first tutorial is we have our UI file here. You don't need that for the Python file to work. If I deleted that, the Python file would still work just fine. The reason you want to hold on to the UI file is that so you can import it back into Qt Designer later on if you want to make changes. If you get rid of that, then you have to manually make the changes in the Python script itself. So even though you don't need to distribute the UI file, although you can, and it'd be great, help other people edit your work, the Python code does not need the UI file once it is generated. I want to thank you for watching, and I want you to visit filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. The link is in the description. And also visit our forum, which is filmsbychris.com/forum. Or chat with us online in our IRC channel at Freenode. You can go to filmsbychris.com/IRC to get a web interface to get to that, or just visit freenode.net, actually irc.freenode.net. And go to #FilmsByChris to chat with us if you want to use another IRC client. Thanks for watching. I got more to come, and all the links I talked about are in the description. Have a great day.